Hello, everybody, and a very warm welcome to the Property and Investor Podcast. This, I, of course, am your host, Paul Lanfear. Now, you'll notice that these all-star podcasts are a little bit different. Some of the longer form podcasts. This is where I have the absolute pleasure of talking to people that I've worked with during the course of this year as part of my Inner Circle mentoring group, and it is with genuine delight that I introduce today's guest, Martyn Butler. Martyn, how are you?
Hello, yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Oh, fab. It's great to have you on the podcast. Now, Martyn, do you want to tell us a little bit about your business?
Yeah, sure. So I've got a service accommodation business. I guess it's split into two parts. So there's the rent-to-rent side of things. So I've got my own rent-to-rent portfolio of 15 properties now, and then we've also got the managed business or the management business. So um, that's that's doing quite well. I think in total we've got 40 properties on the books now. That's including my own. And yeah, just that's it
That,
really.
well, that's a decent portfolio by anybody's measuring stick. And you've got these. Tell us a little bit about the geographical spread of the portfolio.
Yeah, sure. So when I was looking at starting SA, I started off in Leeds, which is where I'm based. But I kind of just spread the net wide. I was
Mhm.
looking at places like Manchester and in the northeast, just because it can be quite difficult to find good SA properties. So I just figured I'd look all over. And I was using a management company at the time that managed properties nationally. So location wasn't really an issue for me because I knew I could just give the property to them and they would manage it.
Mhm.
Um, and then I took over management myself, and I kind of stuck with that model. It is a bit more challenging, but as long as you've got a good team in each area, it works quite well. So, yeah, open to taking on properties in most areas, really, but we do focus mostly on the north, in the big cities,
Mhm.
and we're in lots of different locations now, and we've built teams in each area, sort of cleaners and maintenance teams that can help service the properties, and it works quite well, really. Um, and I
Awesome.
guess it just means we've got a bigger pool of properties to choose from, and there's more clients available to us that we can help.
Yeah, definitely. Well, to hit the heady heights of 40 units, you must clearly be doing something right. Maybe we'll talk about that later on.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about where you were before you came onto the Inner Circle and the kind of like problems and challenges you may be experiencing.
Yeah, sure. So at the start of the year, I think I probably had about 10 to 12 of my own rent to SA units, and I had one client that I was managing properties for, and he is a friend of mine, and he's got a few properties. So I was sort of doing that. I was very much working in the business. I was doing a lot of the day-to-day management. I've got VAs, but I was very much involved in chatting to guests and
Mhm.
um, filling in the gaps where they weren't working, doing or coordinating all the maintenance myself. And I kind of wanted to take myself out of that side of things as much as possible, and also just look at ways to grow the business. So obviously with my portfolio being a rent to rent portfolio, I don't own any of the assets. I wanted to look at purchasing a property,
Mhm.
I had in mind either purchasing just a house
Mhm.
that I could use for SA, or maybe looking at a bigger project such as a guest house, which would essentially become a block of SA apartments, really under an apart hotel model. And that's what I was thinking about at the start of the year,
Mhm.
and where I was. Yeah.
Cool. And then in terms of like bringing us up to like the here and now, so how's the program helped? How have you progressed? How are things now?
I think what it's been really good for is helping me see the bigger picture and definitely plan ahead, um, and focus on the sort of the things which the high value tasks, I guess. I've definitely been able to take myself out of the business in the day-to-day side of things, but also just focus on the bigger goals and figure out where I want to take things as a business. But also, it's been quite good at sort of helping me with plan my personal life as well. There's set goals for myself personally. I think that's quite important. Not just to focus on the business side of things and get too caught up in that. So it's been nice to have yourself to help guide me along with that. Um, and it's a really good group of people as well.
Oh,
Everyone on has been really helpful and made some really good connections there.
oh, fantastic. Well, there's a few things to dig in there too. I mean, And what is remarkable about your current portfolio, and we were joking about this the other day, but I mean, you took like a longer summer holiday than I did, and I'm famous for taking my summer adventures. I mean, I think you were away for like 6 weeks and did Morocco and did all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
Um, that is not the experience, is it, of SA operators? Well, certainly not the ones that I bump into at networking meetings. They
Yeah,
tell me that they're cleaning their apartments, they're firing their cleaners, they're, there with a screwdriver trying to fix something. They're being
yeah.
called out on a Sunday night,
It's
and
very easy to get drawn into all of that, I think.
yeah.
Um, yeah.
And you kind of look at them and you kind of get the sense that maybe their business is kind of eating them alive. Whereas you, thanks to all the hard work that you put in, systemization, I get the sense you've really tamed the beast.
Yeah, yeah. I think I've always been quite willing to get involved in things. And when I got started, it was I didn't really have any other options, so I kind of needed to make sure it succeeded. So I mean, I was cleaning my apartments when I first started. This was during COVID, and I was
Mhm,
getting very involved. And even though I had a management company looking after my properties, I was looking at the calendar every day. I'd speak to them pretty much every single day,
mhm,
and I was very involved in the management process. And it's one of the reasons why I decided to manage myself because I mean, all credit to them, but I kind of thought, well, I might as well just do this myself.
mhm,
Um, and yeah, I think it's very easy to get caught up in that, but it is possible to systemize an SA business, and I think you're quite methodical about it,
mhm,
uh, and just you have to work at each thing, but yeah, it's
mhm,
I feel like now at the end of this year, I've kind of achieved what I set out to do. It's taken the whole year to really get to grips with it, and I
mhm,
still obviously do play a large role in the day to day sometimes.
mhm,
But I think the nice thing is I've got the freedom now and the choice as to whether I actually want to spend a day working in my business,
mhm.
tinkering all the little things and speaking to maintenance people, or whether I just want to let someone else do it.
Yeah, and certainly the results speak for themselves. I mean, given your various adventures during the summer,
Yeah,
it's you know, that is evidence of the fact that you can genuinely run your business from a laptop or
yeah,
a phone from anywhere in the world. And
yeah,
that may not necessarily appeal to everybody, but I mean, that is really what appeals to me. Obviously really what appeals to you. Um, it facilitates going on great adventures. It's all
yeah,
good. I
yeah,
want to touch on the personal goals and, because I mean, when you're not doing 40 SA units across the country, you've got lots of stuff that you like to do personally. So let's talk a little bit on that. So what are the kind of personal things you've done this year that you've been encouraged to do and that you're pleased that you've done, maybe?
yeah. I mean, I guess um, the reason I do it, the whole reason I do it really is so that I can spend time with my friends and family doing the fun things I like to do. So anyone that knows me will know that I'm really into kayaking and mountain biking and snowboarding, and I've recently bought a surfboard as well. I just love all of these things. Um, and I've got lots of friends that enjoy them as well. So for me, it's just all about just getting out with those people and just doing those fun things.
Yeah.
Um, and so that was really just my idea. That's what I've been trying to achieve with it, really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely love it. And not so much I would say try to achieve, but you've been
yeah,
doing it. I mean, as I part I was a mid-European adventure and we exchanged messages about where might be a good place to go water rafting. So my daughter wants to go white. So we rocked up in the Dolomites thanks to you, and we had an amazing time. Like a genuinely just the most thrilling experience.
yeah.
Cool. So what does the future look like?
Yeah, so I guess really I've been thinking about how to scale. I do really enjoy the business aspects of things. I enjoy working for myself. But I've been thinking, do I just want to keep taking on one more rent to SA here and there, maybe buy just sort of like one house?
Mhm,
And I've really thought about how can I scale it a bit quicker than that. So I think the future is looking at bigger projects. I've been specifically been looking at apart hotels or even just hotels
mhm.
essentially, and how I can scale the business in that way. Really, I think there's a lot of opportunity there, and I've got a lot of the experience needed, I think, to go into that space.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've been raising finance, looked at a few potential projects, nothing that I'm definitely going to go for yet, but there's definitely a few things on the cards and lots of opportunities there that I'll be exploring next year.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, that sounds very, very exciting. And no doubt a few adventures as well. Have you got any particular plans to where you might go?
Yeah, I mean, I've got snowboarding holiday plans. I'm very excited for that at the minute.
Oh,
One week snowboarding a year just isn't really enough, but I've got to settle for that for now.
yeah, for now, for
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
And then I suppose moving towards a conclusion, if somebody has listened to what you said, it resonates with them, they're in, maybe interested in the rent SA space, systemizing their business. I mean, you've been really prolific at also finding projects, which people find very, very difficult in the space. And of course, your future directional travel is the apart hotels. Um, um, so where would we get to connect people? So if people wanted to connect with you, how would they manage that?
So I've got two websites. So you can either find our management company, which is stayful.co.uk.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in anything sort of essay or management related, definitely either search us on Facebook. We've got a few Facebook groups or a Facebook group with lots of people in there that share lots of helpful advice. So that's a
Mhm.
good place to start if you're just looking for general essay advice. I'm more than happy to have a chat with people, so you can find me on Facebook, on social media.
Mhm.
Um, and then MWB Property is my sort of like more rent to rent side of things. And my email's on there. So if you want to send me an email and have a chat, then I'm always open to chatting to people. Happy to help out. There's lots of pitfalls in SA, but it can be very good. So more than happy to help people, give a bit of
Oh, fantastic. And if somebody was thinking about inner circle, what kind of comments, thoughts, observations would you have on that?
I would say just do it, really. It's been really good. I think it'll really help you define your goals and figure out what your goals are and where you want to be, um, and how you're going to get there. And I think having the community around you or the other people on the course has been great. And that's been one of my favorite parts of this year is just having interactions with those people. We've gone on walks, we have regular calls, and everyone's just got a wealth of experience in all different areas, whether it's property or business, and then obviously yourself as well. You've been great. So yeah, I'd recommend doing it.
Awesome. Well, that's obviously music to my ears, Martin. So, thank you so much, obviously, for doing this. It's been great to catch up with you today, but also thank you for like a fantastic year. And no doubt, look forward to bumping into you either on a bike, on a surfboard, skis or snowboards, or maybe you'll even get me in a kayak. Who knows?
I'd love to take you kayaking one day.
Oh, wait, well, look, you're pushing an open door. I'm ready. Yes to that. So, thanks very much, Martin. I really appreciate it.
Thanks, Paul.
Cool. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. That's another all-star podcast done for you. If you'd like to learn more, please come to the next Property and Investor Breakfast. A link will be below. Thanks very much for listening to the podcast.